Hello, I'm Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, identity theft is on the rise. We've stolen the best thief-busting ideas. Is there really a probate-free, income tax-free, and estate tax-free investment? We have the answer. Plus, start your engines. We'll find out which old-time autos are in the race for first place. And don't get caught in a cosigning catastrophe.
It's time to get going, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Identity theft, it's the crime of the century, the 21st century. But there are simple steps you can take to help keep your information all to yourself. Tim Demoff is here with keys to locking out those who want to tap into your good name. Tim's a security expert with SACS Consulting and Investigative Services. That's SACS Consulting.
That's great.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, how can we protect ourselves starting with our own mailbox?
Well, a couple things. Number one, you want to use lock boxes, P.O. boxes, slots indoors, and you really want to stay away from going out to the old mailbox and flipping that red flag up and, telling the world that you've got mail in there that's valuable. And what happens is criminals now drive around neighborhoods looking for those little red flags, and they conveniently take that mail and open it up, and they get a lot of valuable information, checks, and other things.
And if they steal that stuff, they can use it and
that's
unlock your ID.
Absolutely, that's their basis for all their identity theft information.
Let's talk about credit cards. We know if they're lost or stolen, we need to be reporting them, but what should we do to protect ourselves when we're using them?
Well, a couple things you can do. Number one, you can put, instead of signing the back of the check, the credit card, you can put see photo or ask for photo. That way, the clerk has to ask you for a photo, like a driver's license, to verify your name from your driver's license to the credit card, and that stops a lot there. And that's something that a lot of people don't use that they should use a lot more.
Oh, I didn't know that. I always thought you're supposed to sign your name on it.
Well, you're either supposed to sign your name or see photo, and if they see photo, they've got to verify it.
Great. And like when we go to the ATM machines, I'm told that there's a lot of risk there that people can steal by looking over your shoulder, for example.
Well, what happens there is they call it shoulder surfing. People are looking over your shoulder or from a distance. We've even had people set up down the street or down the ways with binoculars picking up PIN numbers off of ATM machines. So I tell people, as crazy as it sounds, get up close to it, put your hand over it, punch your numbers in. Don't let them know what your PIN number is.
Even if you look around and you don't see anybody, you should still do that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what if someone asks for our social security number while we're doing some financial transaction?
This is huge. I don't care whether it's on the phone, in person, whatever. You do not need to give a social security number to anybody. Going shopping, people ask for a social security number. They want to put it on a check you're writing, a personal check. Absolutely never give your social security number.
What about the last 4 digits? Is that okay?
Well, a lot of times now we're putting the last 4 digits on checks or different things as a verification along with a bill. That's fine, but don't put the entire social security number on any check.
Now, Medicare, I would assume most of our viewers have Medicare and a Medicare card. The card has the social security number on it, and we need that card for care. So if we're trying to protect our social security number, what do we do?
Well, 2 things are going on. First, the federal government is in the process of eventually changing that and taking social security numbers off all ID numbers. So that's going to happen in time. But in the meantime, make a copy of your Medicare, Medicaid card and black out the social security number. They don't need that social security number to identify you or match you up to bills or processes. They can use your name, your address. The other thing is you can just verbally give them the social security number when you're there in person.
So if they don't need it, why is it on the card in the first place?
Well, someone had a great idea 50 years ago that the social security number would be a great way to use as a PIN number, and back then they didn't have the same problem we have today with identity theft, so we've got to catch up to them.
Shredding things. Should we have a shredder in our own house?
I tell everybody the best tool in the world for preventing identity theft is a shredder, and get a shredder that's a cross-cutting shredder or one that says identity theft protection type shredder. And the main reason is you get so much mail, if it has any personal information on it, put it in the shredder. Anything with your name, address. Also, those pre-approved credit card applications.
We get thousands of those.
Those are worth their weight in gold to identity theft criminals.
Really?
And we have a lot of people say, well, I'm not going to do that. They throw it in the trash.
Sure.
And they don't shred it or rip it up. Those things are very valuable. Anyway, back to the bottom line is shred anything and everything that has personal information on it. Your shredder is the #1 tool for preventing identity theft.
These are really helpful tips. Thank you so much. I didn't know a lot of that. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Keep your identity to yourself. Use Tim's ideas to protect your ID. Let's give credit to Tim for identifying these very helpful strategies.
Secure more information by calling Tim Dimoff at Sachs Consulting and Investigative Services at 1-888-SACS-YES or visit www.sacsconsulting.com. Superman might have been an ace flyer, but the U.S. military turned him down for service. So why did Clark Kent fly below the radar and fail his Army induction test? We'll be back with the answer faster than a speeding bullet.
We're Gateway Title, keeping life simple. We can make it simple. We've got everything you need. See how easy selling your home can be. We're Gateway Title. We're keeping life simple.
Superman may have been faster than a speeding bullet, but his eyes got ahead of him at his Army induction. Clark Kent failed his eye test when his X-ray vision penetrated a wall, leading the Man of Steel to study an eye test in another room.
Maybe you'll recall seeing some of the visionary products we've shown you on prior shows, but there's a new low vision item that you just have to see, or should I say hear, to believe. Lee Jarocki has joined us to talk up this machine, though it can almost speak for itself. Lee's with magnifiers and more. Thanks for joining us, Lee.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Lee, we know that reading small print can really be a huge challenge for people with vision problems, and there are lots of different products out there to help us, but this is a different product, a new machine. Can you tell us about it?
Sure. Well, first we have to take a look at what's traditionally used for magnifying, and it has its purposes. It's a 5X. However,
A 5X is a magnifying
5X magnifier, right. And that's good for spot reading here and there, but some people's vision is so far gone, and some are legally blind or completely blind. So what we have now is a next generation of a reader. This is it's called a clear reader, and this will read back to you any print that you put in front of it. If we push the button here, this arm comes out, and right underneath here is a video camera. So very simply what we do is we place the newspaper or the book right in front of the unit, push the button, and voila, a few seconds later it reads back to you.
Well, let's demonstrate this. Show us how it works.
Good. We're going to take a look right in the middle here. And what we did here is we printed out just a couple sentences. We're going to hit the scan button. There's audio cues also. One of them is the sound of a picture being taken. And if you'd like to hold that up.
Yeah, I'm going to hold
Hello,
this up so
Golden
our
Opportunities
viewers
viewer.
can read this.
I'm a clear reader. With the press of a button, I can take a picture of a printed document and then read it back to you. I can adjust my reading speed and volume with the click of a button. Read your mail, newspaper, and bills with ease. For more information, call Magnifiers and More 440-946-3363.
So this was not pre-programmed. It took a picture of the paper that was underneath it, and then it could read it back to you in a matter of seconds.
Just like that. Yeah, it just takes a few seconds. As I
You
said,
can use this for books or newspapers or anything.
books, newspapers, letters, bills.
Now, the voice, can you do different voices?
Yeah, you can, sure.
Really?
Sure. We had, this one is called Tom, so it's the male voice. We also have a female voice, and that's controlled by the buttons up top here. Spanish, French, and probably more.
You can do other languages
Other
too.
languages, and probably more to come in the future,
if
sure.
it's English language, they can read it back in German or French or something?
Well, no, you should put it under, if you're reading a German text.
Oh, I see. You have to press the German
you'd have it
button
to German,
Got it.
but the text should be, it does not translate for you.
Doesn't translate.
Right, not yet, but
that
it
would
may
work.
in the future.
Now, since it talks, it's loud, which is good to hear. But do you have to do this in a place where nobody else is around so that you don't bother other people?
No, you don't. That's a good thing. There's a port right on the side here, and we just plug in our headphones and don't have to bother anybody else.
All right. Now there's more buttons up here. Other than changing language, what else can you do with these things?
The fast forward and reverse button. That's right on the top here. If you miss a word or it mispronounces a word, which happens every now and then, we can go back either one word at a time or a sentence at a time. And we can speed up the voice, slow it down, and of course the volume as well.
This is so exciting.
Yeah.
It's great for people. So thank you very much, Lee,
Pleasure.
for bringing this to our attention. Now, hearing is believing. To read up on this item or to find other low vision products, call Magnifiers and More at 440-946-3363 or visit their website, www.magnifiersandmore.net. My thanks to Lee for a great read. We'll be right back.
Next, is this asset a real lifesaver? Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Costumed volunteers and a park ranger will light the way for a unique exploration of the Ohio and Erie Canal August 20th. Meet at the Cuyahoga Valley National Park's Canal Visitor Center at 8 p.m. to stroll the towpath trail and discover the canal by lantern light with no tolls but plenty of tales. For more information, call 440-546-5992 or click to www.nps.gov/CUVA.
Here's a riddle for you. Can you name an asset you may already have that's probate-free, income tax-free, and estate tax-free? Jim Lineweaver has the brains to answer this brain teaser. Jim's a certified financial planner with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Thanks for joining us, Jim.
My pleasure.
All right, don't keep us in suspense. What is probate-free, income tax-free, and estate tax-free?
Well, I'd like to jazz this up a lot more than it's going to sound, but if we peel back that onion, you get to the core, it's actually just life insurance.
Now, is that true for anybody who owns life insurance? I thought you have to have your kids own it or something.
You do
get
have
this
to be
money.
careful. What ends up happening is that the only way life insurance can escape some of these things is by one, making sure that your spouse would be the only beneficiary on that. But number two, what we have to be really careful about in these days is that a lot of people think life insurances are protected. So if I go into a nursing home or have home health care issues, that's going to be protected. And what they have to realize is if there's a cash value in that policy and they own it, that can actually be attached on the Medicaid spend down rules. Okay. So in life insurance situations like this, where your health starting to fail or something like that, you actually don't want to own it. You have to get that outside of your estate and have it owned either by your kids or a trust. So it's very important how you structure these.
All right, so you don't have to, you mentioned the spouse. If the spouse is the beneficiary, then it's easy. But you could have your kids as the beneficiary of your insurance and still get all these benefits, but it has to be owned by the kids or by a trust.
It does. See, there's ownership, there's the insured, and there's beneficiary, and they're three different things. And you got to understand how all these pieces fit together to make sure you're not going to lose all the benefits.
So what are the reasons that we should consider buying life insurance if we don't already have it?
Well, what ends up happening is if we have assets in our portfolio that we're really not going to plan on spending, we don't think we need, what happens is, as opposed to possibly getting hit with a lot of tax ramifications when it goes to the next generation, try to identify those assets, and you can then try to look at that and put that into some type of life insurance. It can either be a single life or joint and survivor. There's a bunch of different types out there, but it's a way to turn this asset that could be taxable into an income tax-free, estate tax-free, and probate-free asset.
What types of things should we, how do we pay for this insurance?
Well, you would look at your different investments. So if you're just taking money out of a money market or savings that's not doing well, there's really no taxable events. But if you're going to take money out of IRAs, or maybe if you have to sell stocks or mutual funds, or if you're going to cash in an annuity, there are tax ramifications with that. So make sure you see a good independent financial planner, or maybe talk to your accountant before you make this decision.
Because you could end up saving a lot of tax money if you do it right.
You really could.
Now, older people, can older people do this? Buy insurance to protect and avoid taxes?
They can. They'd be surprised. We have people that actually have a lot of health issues that can still get insurance. I'm sure a lot of your viewers are saying, oh, that would never apply to me. But you really want to take a look at it. The laws have changed and the insurance regulations have loosened up quite a bit. They know a lot more about these illnesses than they ever had before. And even if you can't get insured, you can also sometimes pull in a spouse or a family member and insure both lives at a very low cost.
Great. So while life insurance purchases aren't for everybody, they can be pretty beneficial in the right circumstance, and people should check it out.
They really can, as long as you do it correctly.
Thanks, Jim. Good advice. Appreciate it very much. We love hearing something is free, and 3 frees are better than 1. Probate-free, income tax-free, estate tax-free. This could make a life insurance policy a beneficial option. But to make sure this freedom works for you and your lifestyle, give Jim a call. His number's up next.
To find out more, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net. Next, an old-fashioned road race. It's time to get up and go. An exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hi, I'm Mike Harvin from Breakout Fitness, and today we're going to do an abdominal crunch. All right, we got our mats out. You ready to go?
I don't know about doing something called the crunch.
Let's give it a shot. All right, lay back with me. I want your feet flat on the floor so your legs are in an angle. Beautiful. Now we're going to place our hands on our thighs and keeping our chin up in the air so our spine stays in alignment. Slide your palms up your thighs to your knee, and then let your shoulder blades come back to the mat. Pull your shoulder blades off and slide your hands up while relaxing and letting them back down. Let's see what you got.
They don't go all the way to the knee. I need longer arms, that's all.
You're doing good. Let's just keep your chin up a little bit, and we're going to slow control movements to bring our hands to the knees. There you go. Yeah, he has it now. All right, everybody, now it's your turn to get up and go.
I got my knees.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, please send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 23240 Chagrin Boulevard, Suite 450, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.
Buckle your seatbelts. There's a classic competition revving up its engines. 3 old-time autos are in the race for first place. Ready to put the pedal to the metal are Becky Carlino and Marianne Porinchak. As Director of Community Engagement for Western Reserve Historical Society, Becky's driven to win by representing the Crawford Auto Aviation Museum, and Marianne's in the driver's seat of the National Packard Museum as its Executive Director. Thanks for joining both of you today.
Thank you for having us.
So let's start. What are the rules of this race? You want to start, Becky?
It's really simple. I think the best car wins. But what we're going to do is have the 3 museums come together, and we're going to do some road challenges.
And the third museum is the Canton?
The Canton Classic Car Museum.
Okay. Marianne, what kind of competitions are you gearing up for?
Well, I believe they're going to try their skill at going around pylons. There will be a start and run type of race, and it'll all be against time and then maneuverability. But the biggest thing will be reliability at this point.
Is there one car from each of the 3 museums that participates?
Yes.
So you guys pick a car and then you go at it?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right. Where do we park ourselves to get the best seat to watch this thing?
You'll go to the Hamburger Festival August 21st. It's at Lock 3 in downtown Akron, and the race is going to take place about 2 p.m.
Great. Marianne, why do you think that the Packard's going to win?
Well, the Packard has a long history of reliability and durability, so even though our car is, 115 years old, I believe it still has what it takes to do this task and to do it well and successfully.
Do you jazz it up for the
Oh,
for
the
this
guys are
competition?
the guys are in training already. It's a start and stop, start and stop. It's a single-cylinder car, so it takes a little tweaking. It's got hand brakes, and it does take a little bit to get it started. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Can you take like a jet engine and stick it in and really rev it up?
I wouldn't recommend that.
All right, Becky, what kind of car is Crawford driving to the starting line?
We're actually taking a Cleveland-made car. It's a 1902 American Gas. The car was in production for only 2 years, and then the company kind of went bankrupt, which is sad. But the car is one cylinder, and it is less complicated to drive than your car, I think. But I'm not driving it. We have a secret weapon driver that we're bringing with us. So
It's going to take a miracle.
You guys are quite competitive here. I don't know. So it's August 21st, and but people can come out to the museums and see these classic cars all year round, I assume.
Right. They're on
except for
display.
these two, I think they're hiding, getting ready for the race.
Great. Well, thank you both for coming out.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it. We'll look forward to seeing who the best car is to win.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
So may the best classic car win. Be sure to cheer on your favorite. For a roadmap of information, call the number that's coming up next, and we wish the best of luck to all of our competitors.
For more information, call the Crawford Auto Aviation Museum at 216-721-5722 or visit their website, www.wrhs.org. Next, don't get caught in a cosigning catastrophe.
Welcome to Breckenridge Village, a continuing care retirement community conveniently located in historic Willoughby, Ohio. Whether it's a luxury apartment, a spacious ranch home, or newly built brownstones, it's all here with the added security of knowing more care is available when you need it. Breckenridge Village offers an exciting and upbeat lifestyle, and the food is fabulous, and our staff makes you their #1 priority. Learn more about Breckenridge Village and come see our new Veal Wellness and Aquatic Center.
If you missed any phone numbers or websites from today's guests, get a pen and paper because we're going to list all of that information again right now. And then I'll come back to tell you if you should say yes or no when your child asks you to cosign a loan. Let's say your daughter's in a financial bind. How can you say no to help? It's your child, right? So you agree to co-sign her car loan. The next thing you know, your credit score is a mess and your insurance rates are skyrocketing. How is that possible? Here to warn us about co-signing catastrophes is my legal cohort, Lori Steiner. Thanks for joining us, Lori.
Hey, Armin.
Lori, what's the problem with co-signing for a child's loan?
Well, people often agree to co-sign on a loan before they really fully understand that bad things can happen. First and foremost, of course, if your daughter defaults on that loan that you've co-signed for, you're responsible. You're going to end up having to pay for it.
Now, let's say that your daughter, defaults but has money to pay. Do they have to go after your daughter first, or can they come after you even though you're not the primary person on the loan?
Well, that's one of the problems with being a co-signer, because oftentimes if you're the one with the money, you've got the deep pockets, the lender is probably going to come after you directly to collect on that funds.
And first.
There is no requirement that they go after your child first and give it an attempt before they come after you. They're going to look for the money.
All right. Are there any other bad things that can happen if you co-sign a loan?
Okay, yes, there are bad things. Let's say your child is late with a couple of those car payments that you've co-signed on. That could happen. A child may lose their job or have unexpected medical expenses. Things can happen. So in that case, your child's credit score is going to get hit, but so is your credit score going to get hit. And that could really increase your credit card rates and things. They could up the rates because your credit rating was affected, even though it was just your daughter who made some late payments on the loan.
So even though your daughter hasn't defaulted yet, your daughter is late with some payments, your credits can go in the toilet.
Yeah,
Just
because
because
you're
you're a
responsible
cosigner.
for it too.
All right. Tell me, is there any other bad things that can happen from co-signing? And I hope there's not.
Oh no, unfortunately, yes there are. Insurers oftentimes base the insurance rates on your credit score. So if your credit score goes down, your individual insurance rates could go through the roof because of it. And it's simply, again, just because your daughter was late on a couple payments.
So let me make sure I understand that. My auto insurance or homeowner's insurance rates can go up just because I co-signed a loan and my daughter was late on a few payments.
Yeah, these are bad things, don't you agree?
Those are pretty bad things. All right, so how do we avoid these problems?
Well, the best way to avoid it is don't co-sign that loan. It sounds harsh. I know it sounds harsh, and you want to help your children, but you could end up with a hefty price. All these bad things could happen.
Well, but your daughter or son come to you with those pleading
big
eyes,
blue eyes, and a tear coming down the cheek.
and they
I know.
need your help, and they are your child. So
Yeah, it's really hard to say no, but you got to really think about it. You got to fully understand at least that this could happen.
And that's important. And a lot of people co-sign without understanding.
That is true.
And now
That's
that
the
they've
problem.
watched Golden Opportunities, they understand.
It'll never happen again.
Thank you, Laura. I appreciate your good advice. I know you love your kids, and it is hard to say no when they ask for help. But make sure you understand the pitfalls before you agree to co-sign a loan. A mistake could be very costly for you. If you have questions, give Lori Steiner a call. We'll be back.
Call Budish, Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information. Or log on to www.budishandsolomon.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, we've registered a list of classes that earn an A+ for seniors. Then we'll step back in time to discover how the path to freedom led through Northeast Ohio. Plus, we'll get up close and personal with stories of smiles restored. Until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.